Let's take a quick look at web page blocking. Issuing a user a block page when they attempt to access a web page is a common form of censorship. When a user attempts to access a web page, instead of receiving a silent failure or a reset connection, they might instead be delivered a page such as the one that's shown here. This indicates to the user that the page that they were trying to reach has been blocked. The notion of a block page is conceptually quite simple. In our past work, we've attempted to determine the extent to which users see block pages in different countries and how implementations of block pages have varied across time and across ISP. Automatically detecting block pages can be a little bit tricky because the page itself naturally varies. For example, a news site might change the news stories over time, and a simple change in the content does not necessarily indicate that you're not seeing the original page, but rather the page simply might be different than the one you saw before because the content itself changed as a natural result of a web page update. So differences in accessible pages can make detection more challenging, but one easy way to detect block pages is by looking at the length of the page. So a block page, for example, often has many fewer bytes or is much smaller than the original page, even if the content itself changes over time. It's often possible to determine which block page is being used by the fingerprint that's returned in the block page itself, either in the headers or the content. Common block pages include FortiGuard, Squid, NetSweeper, WebSense, and WireFilter. The mechanisms that a country uses to block access to the web may change over time and across ISPs. Here we can see two ISPs in Thailand that over time have used a combination of DNS and web filtering. The vector row at the top of the graph is a feature vector indicating a fingerprint for a particular type of web filter. And you can see also that AS17552 in Thailand not only has used multiple different ways to block access to the web pages, but has also changed vendors of web page blocking software over time. In summary, web page blocking is a conceptually simple mechanism to prevent a user from gaining access to a web page. It's very easy for the user to spot. They know they've been blocked because they see a block page. Plenty of software exists for delivering a block page to a user, including NetSense, Squid, FortiGuard, Bluecoat, and others. Historically, web page blocking has been a very simple on-path mechanism. The device really needs only to see the content being requested, and then it can reset the original connection and inject its own HTTP response for the block page. Modern versions of HTTPS will make it more difficult for these devices to determine which page or what content a user is accessing, and inserting block pages in this fashion will get increasingly more difficult to implement in the future.